Atron. Today I'm joined by Yiggs and Chubby. Great to see you guys
Hi.
here.
Yeah. I am not good at commentating. Do you remember the last time? It was Latorb 1v1 like a million years ago. It was an experience, definitely.
Anyway, today we have Voltage versus Nocturnal. Voltage definitely is actually one of our top teams in the standing right now. I believe they're tied for second. They might still be tied for first, but I know they are up there and are almost guaranteed a slot in playoffs. Nocturnal, I think if they can win
Nocturnal
this
is
match, they will
rebuilt.
almost be guaranteed that slot if they can maintain it.
This is like the last a few members of this is like Fluid Light with Nocturnal here because we reformed. They had to reform after we had a problem with it was like Nocturnal and then two other teams that they all imploded at the same time, and then Nocturnals come back here under the direction of Godspeed. So that's pretty good with Death as co-captain. So this will be a fun experience to watch these two teams. This is sort of, I think it may be rebuilt Nocturnal's first game. I'm not entirely sure about that. It's the first one I've watched since they've been
think
rebuilt.
it is. At least the first one that's being streamed since they've been rebuilt.
Awesome. So this will be pretty fun to watch.
But both teams are ready to go, so let's get into our first map, which is King's Row.
Let's do
now,
it.
this is also the last week we will be seeing this map set. Next week we are going to a brand new map set, which might change things up a little bit differently. I can look up what those map sets, what that map set's going to be in just a moment.
In addition, isn't this one of the last weeks that we will be seeing this sort of double shield meta? Isn't that getting changed up next week, or am I?
There is a patch that is supposed to be coming out next week.
Yes, no more of this Symmetra nonsense.
It's gonna go to Bastion Sim double shield. I don't think the nerf to the shields are substantial enough.
I don't want to play Bastion Sim.
I honestly
gross.
think you're going to see more damage.
No.
They've actually nerfed Doomfist, which is one of the main counters to that double shield combo.
I don't mind Doomfist in his current state. Whom I didn't like was Symmetra in this. I think what they needed to do was delete the
She got nerfed heavily.
Yeah, which is good because she needed that. Doomfist, I didn't think was that much of an issue. I didn't really think Moira needed the nerf. I am very happy about the Lucio changes. They basically reverted the nerfs they gave him, and that allows people, like when this wall ride boost, I wall skim. A lot of high-level Lucios wall skim. They don't just wall ride. And so this and the team boost going back up is going to be just wonderful for froggy boys out there. And
I'm thinking with the new updates, Dive is going to start making a comeback, although Bastion Sim might be seen a lot early on. I think overall it's going to be more of a Dive meta that's coming into it.
Don't want it. Arisa Hog here versus looks like
more of the brawl style. It's more of an old Bastion comp coming out of Nocturnal.
I love.
Reinhardt, though, immediately pushing in, is able to help take out that Arisa. That's a major pick for Nocturnal right away, already getting a position on this point.
Nocturnal looking good, looking tight, whereas Voltage looked a little spread there. Didn't really use that wall to play towards, and looks like Voltage just isn't... Oh, here they go. They're sort of regrouping up. Nocturnal coming out really strong.
Hero is going to be able to take the pick out. But Hero looks like is going to actually be forced to stay in that Widow. Junkrat, Nicholas Stinger coming up to try and take out this Ashe. She's going to be backed away, but that point is going to be captured by Nocturnal.
And Voltage getting a few staggers there. Hope they come back and regroup.
And definitely didn't help, though, with that first pick going to the side of Nocturnal, with that Arisa falling. Voltage losing that main take is a major disadvantage going into that early fight. Nocturnal looking like they're starting to move forward, trying to push Voltage back even further. Reinhardt being swapped over from that Arisa might be able to help them, but how much it will is still left to be seen. Dragon coming in, going to take two picks with a Riptire, taking out the other three. A near team kill for Nocturnal. Make that a team kill.
Stonger is one of those players where, there's a lot of players that say, oh, I'm in Platinum, Masters DPS that I play 10 characters. Nocturnal plays 3. Nocturnal. Mr. Donger plays 3. I call him Mr. Donger. And he's okay with that. If he's not, that's too bad. He plays 3 really, really well. And I think it's cool to kind of see that, people that specialize. And Nocturnal just looking really strong here. Voltage trying to answer back with their own brawl style here. It's everybody's forgotten how to brawl with the double shields. But now we're getting some good. Both lamps.
Immortality out with an Earth Shadow that is going to be blocked. Nice charge onto the Reinhardt, but Airspike is actually going to fall. And now Nocturnal once again has the advantage. They're able to move that payload over
Nocturnal,
almost 6 minutes on that clock.
Amazing. Nocturnal took out that lamp immediately, and while Voltage didn't take out theirs, which looks like battle of the lamps here with that kind of thing. Really got to focus on those. Very hard to do.
Voltage does have an Earth Shatter up and ready. This could be a major ult if they can get that positioned right. Bob coming out from Voltage with an Earth Shatter, taking out multiple people.
Mr.
Looks like Voltage
there.
finally able to stabilize.
Looks like they're gonna make a stand here around this corner, which is always one of my favorite spots to hold. But they've finally broken Nocturnal down a little bit. Let's see here. Both teams are gonna have to be really careful because of the brawl potential.
However, what's going to be a major factor in this is first of all, we have Riptire coming out from Nicholas Stinger once again. It is going to be taken down from the Fire Strike though. But the thing we're going to have to watch out for is we see on Nocturnal side they have a Graviton Surge and a Spirit Dragons, which is going to be a major combo if they can pull this off. Although it doesn't look like they're necessarily going to need this.
Oh, that's unlucky.
Dragons is gonna come in, but Shanzi actually dies to the Graviton Surge. You really don't see that too much.
That happened to me the other day, and I was really confused about it. Nocturnal really just pushing that payload, just kind of having an easy time with this push.
Shatter comes up, but Death Unbound is going to be taken down. And Voltage looking like they're starting to make their stand once again, keeping this payload right where it is and forcing Nocturnal back.
Oh, they forced him back, see if they can take out that mortar for a stagger, but it looks like Piggy is gonna get out here.
Ooh, and a nice pick from Nicholas Stinger onto Shanzi. That takes out the Moira. They only have a Baptiste now. Tactical Visor coming out from Voltage, able to deal a lot of damage and using that amplification matrix. But isn't going to get many picks due to that immortality.
A lot of ults there, but only 2 dead. Oh, no, we've got Voltage is going to
taking out 2 picks, and Voltage still continuing to hold to this point.
They used a lot of ults there. Wasn't that at least? That was 3 for Voltage that I could count. It might have been 4. And Nocturnal used 2?
They used 1.
They used 1. Oh no, they did use 2. They used the Bob and...
No, Voltage actually was the one that used the Bob. What we saw was the Riptire coming out from... was a burned Riptire from Nocturnal. They swapped over to the Ash off of the Junkrat. But it looks like Voltage is using this Ash just to keep all of Nocturnal at bay.
Voltage getting some Carol up there, and please forgive me. Getting a lot of value on that Ash, just making space. Nocturnal can't really contest that right now. They've got no one.
Like at this point, you're gonna take too much damage at range. Like you're gonna get your shield busted before you can even move in. You might want to swap to a shield pick to speed boost in, give you that brawl range you need.
A little more mobile, and then somebody to come up here and contest this Ash and Baptiste.
Ooh, and a nice pick from Death Unbound.
Ursic pushing up, being
yeah, like Chubby was saying, it might be time for Nocturnal to swap off of this brawl composition and maybe have to start moving closer to a dive comp, maybe swapping off the Reinhardt, maybe even to off the Zarya into a Winston possibly, just to get a push onto that Ash.
Mr. Donger from the Junkrat to the Doomfist to be able to contest up there. It looks like that was one of the picks that that helped out. But Voltage still has spawn advantage. I'm gonna let Mr. Chubby talk more about gameplay, and I will talk more about the individual teams and the players in between rounds, so I feel like my information is not strictly useful.
Also, Chubby, you might wanna raise the volume on your mic, because you sound a little low to me.
On my bed. Oh, yeah,
but that immortality field saved them in that grab there.
Yeah, there you go, really good use of the immortality, but now you don't have it for this next engagement, but they might not even need it. As that's 4 picks.
Oh, here we go. Looks like
Baptiste is the only one left to contest, and Baptiste would fall pretty quickly there.
Did not want to get on, just ran. He out. Good push from Nocturnal.
The issue with the Baptiste contesting is he already used Immortality Field, so he had no way of really staying alive to contest that point, so backing out was actually the smarter option.
Yes. And
I would have tried. I guess I would have hopped around a whole lot, but what do I know?
Yeah, like,
I can't wait to see. Oh, yes, I guess it could. I can't. I'm awkward as fuck. Sorry. I can't wait to see Voltage's push here. Defense is always, and to me, defense is always harder. That seems to be the weaker thing on both sides. Is the defense is tough, especially when they are running these, I guess non-meta for now comps where you've got brawl potential, which I really like to see. By the way, I think that kind of stuff is great. But let's see. Let's watch Voltage now onto their push and see how Nocturnal answers. They've got to have a nice defense here. Carol on the Widow, gonna get some early picks here, hopefully. McCree too. Oh, but we've got the May Junkrat coming out. That's a nasty combo from Nocturnal. I really hate that nonsense. I mean, it's great when my DPS are playing it. I don't like playing into it though. But I think with the Widow and the McCree being long range damage, the Junkrat and the May not get as much value here.
Like, if you're gonna play this comp, you gotta play it a very specific way. You gotta play back near this hotel side, let them come in to that choke,
a lot of corner plays,
feel confident, and then just wall them off when they can get into that choke. Like, try to block off those main tanks, keep them from their supply line.
And Nocturnal may want to back up there, not give Widow sight lines.
And that's what that lockout is exactly what it looks like Nocturnal was trying to do, using that May immediately to freeze out Airswick. As well as also being able to take out that Zarya. Both tanks down, and this looks like Voltage is gonna have to pull all the way back now.
Oh, another regroup. Those May walls are brutal. Yeah. That's such a good defensive tactic. Uh-oh, looks like maybe... Nope, he got out. He got out.
Another nice wall to block people out, and that is going to lead to Airswick dying yet again.
On death, but Airswick pays the price. They got to get their healers in there. Perhaps a Mercy or a Lucia, something that can climb the wall with them. I'm not sure Ana is going to get a lot of value here.
Zarya almost able to escape, is going to get caught onto the tree, unfortunately.
Voltage could take advantage of this. They might be able to push in, but they've got 2 down.
Yeah, no, you're playing a comp that's susceptible to getting cut off in that choke and your supply line getting shut. You gotta run something a bit more mobile or something that...
Dive or with a healer that can keep Airswick up when he gets stuck behind. Exactly. Or if they can bait that wall out, it's kind of a psychological... And there we go again. Unfortunately, just nothing on the shatter there.
Riptire coming out. Massive Riptire. Quad kill.
Who is he? Caro just trying to find picks here, but it's so hard to do when you've got that May wall and playing around the corner here. I'm surprised that they're still on the same healers on Voltage. I would have thought they've switched here. I'm not sure what the plan is with that.
Oh.
Honestly, at one point you've got to start thinking it might be time that we change our strategy. We need to regroup inside of spawn and figure out what we're doing wrong.
They did switch the tanks here. Voltage did, but I'm still not sure if that wasn't the issue from my perspective. They've actually gone to slower tanks.
Like, it's just they keep getting caught out like that.
Yeah, they make the same mistakes over and over. And Nocturnal really just pressuring them. They've got that made wall down pat. You know, I'm at this point with so little time left. I'd be thinking about possibly a Symmetra to just get over the wall.
Like, honestly, Symmetra Pharah. Go Pharmacy to get.
Pharmacy would do good here.
Off the front line and get the junk, and then you can run your sim to bully those tanks in the front line.
Doesn't have an answer to Pharmacy right now. They've got the May and possibly the Moira. Carol really just trying to get anything done here. We're up and over, and
Kiro has a decent position though to get something done if he can land these arrows.
Unfortunately, we just go right into an ult there, taking out Kiro. May ult. Looks like 2 of the tanks have made it in. Let's see if Mr. Dufran, Evil Dufran here, can get.
Looks like Nocturnal was just going to be able to walk away with this point fairly easily. Although Voltage is coming up with a couple picks, Nocturnal still has the advantage, and they're just pushing Voltage back.
That is true, but also you don't have a defensive ult ready for that grab that's ready on the side of Nocturnal. They have a big chance to use Amp and grab to wipe the team here if they get the right shots on. We'll have to wait and see what they can do with that.
Deadeye coming out from the side of Voltage, forcing Nocturnal back and keeping them out of the sight lines.
Just so much value on those May walls from Godspeed.
Voltage though able to take out 1 tick and working their way up to 2 now. Starting to have that presence on that point. 2 ticks taken from Voltage, but this is overtime. Shatter comes out, it's not going to catch anyone, blocked by that Orisa. Voltage looking like they are going to start being able to make these picks that are needed. Junkrat will fall, and it looks like this fight is finally going in the favor of Voltage.
Let's go, Voltage. I was actually a little confused at what happened there, because it didn't look like, it looked like Nocturnal almost gave up that point. I don't know if they were forced in there, or what.
What I think happened
like they just got stuck on the wrong side of the map.
What I think happened there is with that McCree Deadeye, it pushed all of Nocturnal behind the hotel, and
yeah, so
allowed Voltage to start making that presence on that point.
We got Airsec back on the Reinhardt here. Reinhardt Hog, always a good combo. But we have Grab and Tire from Nocturnal. Let's see if they can stop the push here. Uh-oh, Shawnzy goes down.
Godspeed now also has a Blizzard, which can be a massive ult to lock out Voltage. Airsick being stunned and walled off yet again.
You know,
Riptera coming in.
Here comes
it's going to be able to take 3!
Wow. We've got somebody trapped on the other side, so.
Just these massive tires coming out from Nicholas Nogger.
You're still gonna have your same problem.
This Hog back here in the back with Voltage, just big stagger. They're just playing with him, just being rude back there.
Being nice ult battery though for Nocturnal.
Yeah, just like a cat playing with their food. The Voltage coming in now with 3 ults. Maybe I want to wait on the Roadhog there and make sure nobody else dies in this period. This is one of those where I'd be yelling at my team that they're throwing if they die.
Ooh, but a nice pick onto the ulting Moira. That's going to take out that Coalescence and keep her back in spawn. Or that long spawn that Nocturnal has to deal with. Each of these picks is going to be massive, but a large and simply great Earth Shatter coming out from
Nocturnal
Death
is
Unbound.
playing really well together as a team here, playing well off of each other. Voltage, a little discombobulated from this map, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, what did I just do? Oh, I just made a cool setting turn on that shows every... I don't know how I did that. It's like showing where everyone is on the map.
Voltage,
really
though,
cool.
able to take out a few picks and get this payload moving, even though they looked like they were losing that fight.
Okay, I figured it out.
Junkrat sitting on this flank route, probably looking to try and get a tire off and stop that point where it is.
So yeah, like they're right under you. You got a perfect shot here. You got one. Oh wait!
And they C9.
The C9. Oh, that's so unlucky. Nocturnal
I don't know what
Voltage
is thinking. They should have just stayed on the point.
I think, you know, the first map is always a little tough, especially when you're facing a team where you're not quite sure what that team is bringing to the table. And we're seeing that Nocturnal is bringing a lot to the table. I think Voltage, you know, they're just getting warmed up, though. We're going to see some good stuff, because this was still a good fight. You know, it wasn't like a complete smash. It was still, we saw some good things, and I think Voltage can sort of learn from what they saw here and really pull out some cool stuff next.
But as I was saying earlier, our map set for next week is actually going to be Eichenwald, Lijiang Tower, Paris, Route 66, with Ilios being a tiebreaker. And that will last for 3 weeks, and then week 13, our last week of the season, will have its own map set, which I think is going to be more of a fun one.
Like, I guess going forward, especially with the PTR, Paris is going to be an interesting map to see how it's played moving forward. It's traditionally been bunker, double shield, that kind of thing, and with Sim getting her big nerf barrage going, Bastion actually got a slight quality of life change as of late, so maybe that'll keep him around. We'll see. Honestly, double shield might still be the primary defensive strat. It's just more what the offense can pull off with these changes.
What I hope to really see is what I would really hope is that we see sort of a fluctuating meta where it's not just like these 6 characters, you've got to run them, or these 7, where we have more of a chance for like some, different DPS, different tanks.
Yeah.
Where I hear, for example, like Soldier may finally come back, Tracer's coming back. I want to see where, even towards
like
the beginning of Overwatch, some of the metas were a lot more flexible. Like dive, you could still run several different dive heroes. You weren't relegated to the same like 6 or 7 people. And I really hope we can get to a point where we see more viability among DPS and users.
Heck, even most recent example right there before 222 came out, we saw a lot of flexibility going on. We saw a lot of triple DPS make its way into the scene, a lot of double burst DPS, a little bit of this and that and the other. So I'm kind of wondering if we can get back to a more fluid meta like that, just more, you can play a bunch of different things besides, 6, 7 heroes.
Yeah. Did we post the link to the stream?
It automatically gets posted.
Oh, okay, Grave was asking, and I was like, I thought it got posted on there.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not in. But there is something I noticed though on that first map that we saw there on the defensive of Nocturnal. Even with the May wall and everything, it looked like, at least from when they first lost that point right there to the very last fight, they held on to a couple of ults for a really long time. Like they were just holding ults.
Yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of comboing either from Voltage ults. We saw ults, but they didn't really, I didn't like see it. Did we use like Nano in combination with something else?
I was thinking more on the side of Nocturnal there on that defensive.
Nocturnal.
Like, once they got split up, like I noticed they had grabbed that entire fight before they even moved in there, and they held on to it till almost the very last fight.
They did, but also
defense.
I got the feeling that they didn't really need it per se, unless Voltage comes up with they were coming up with a big thing. I thought Nocturnal, while they didn't use some of these ults constantly, but like a lot of them you want to hold in reserve. It's a strategic use. I know kind of how Death works, and they like to hold some of these bigger ones for those big pushes, and it just seemed like Voltage never had the ult economy that Nocturnal did. And maybe they could have switched, Nocturnal using theirs a little more, Voltage needing to hold on to theirs and not use them as soon as they got them to get more value out of it.
Because at least from what I saw, there was 10 seconds left on that clock. When that May wall came up, you could have shot it right on that May wall, kept them off the point. You would have won right there. You wouldn't have even had that fight. But I don't know if that was just the planning or just the splitting that happened due to that wall in the high noon or what that was. It just seemed a little weird to me personally. I don't know. I can't read the minds of the players, but they did use it for a very big play later on, like right there at the end, so that was good.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, they might have not even planned on using it because Nick and, was it Godspeed that have been playing that DPS with the Hanzo and the Junkrat, big plays on the ults?
It was Mr. Donger on Junkrat and Godspeed on May, yeah.
Yeah, or in May, yeah, like they were popping big DPS ults, getting 2 to 3 people every time. You really don't need the grab, but, doing really well overall with the ult economy. And, Voltage, like you were saying, might need to hold on to some of those a little bit longer. They're a little trigger happy at times, but it's map 1. Just got to get warmed up again, get back in the groove of things. We'll see if they rebound here entering map number 2, going to Busan.
Who are we switching? Are we switching in Beachy? Is that they're coming in for Voltage?
I'm trying to find out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I got added by somebody. Oh. Grave wants to come in, but I don't think 4 people would.
That's a lot.
I'm having enough trying to not, like, talk over you guys, because I'm awful with that kind of stuff. Oh, what's going on in the art channel? Oh, there's some good art in the art channel. Yeah. Oh, it's almost Inktober. I'll have to post that. That.
And I will have to say something.
We haven't done art events in a while.
I've learned something about commentary from wrestling, alright? 2 is good because you have a face and a heel. 3, you have a heel, a face, and a mix, and that's usually too much comms. When you get up to 4, pretty much everybody loses. You know, you're not going to have your face or heel announcer. They're all going to fight for airtime. You don't want that. You want your 1 or 2 or maybe up to 3 for that middleman kind of component thing, you know?
Yeah.
You got your JR and King. You got your Taz and Cole. You don't really want to mix that up too much. Yeah, I'm a wrestling nerd. Welcome, chat. But honestly, for that last map pool, I have a diabolical plan, or my dream map pool. I've told people this, and I think it would make people leave the league. I can almost guarantee you. All right, and then
you did tell me this, but please share with everybody else so we can get their opinion.
Horizon, Oasis, we get it was Volskaya's in there, and I would keep Li Jiang maybe as a tiebreaker. I just like Li Jiang, and then Root most likely as like a payload.
I'm really tired of Root.
It's scary, especially since historically Bastion's been run a lot there on first point with Bunker, especially with BAP coming into the mix.
Do you remember when they like buffed Bastion like a shitload and like I don't remember, it was not season 2, it was like I don't know, it was like season 5 or whatever, and like it was so bad that they reverted that nerf. Like they went and did a separate console patch and reverted that after 2 weeks. So many people complained. Do you remember that?
I think I know what you're talking about, and that was slightly before my time at season 5. It was the Ironclad nerf, wasn't it? Where it got like 35%.
And it was so stupid. I was like back in like low plat back then, or maybe I wasn't. I don't know. I think I was like trying to get to diamond at that point in my life, and so like none of us knew how to work together to get a Bastion anyway at that level. Oh my god, was it hard. Wait, why is there just not? It's like it says it's 5v6 now. Like there's not a slot for another person.
I know, because that's what Beachy really said.
Weird.
Oh, okay.
Wait, they're playing 5v6? Yeah, Omna Crisis 2.0, exactly.
And just to date myself here, the first big change that came out when I started playing was the Roadhog moving when you could use breather buff, and when Junkrat got his second mine. That's about when I started playing, when Roadhog could move when breathing finally. That was beautiful.
Yeah, He's
actually getting another buff.
I don't want Bastion to be meta. I hate Bunker. I like diving things where you move around. Bunker just to me it's so friggin' boring because it's really kind of like, how well does your team communicate?
Yeah.
Can you work together to get rid of something? And so trying to play that with like sometimes randoms and stuff like that is frustrating. What is okay? Fine.
And I agree with that, but also the thing we got to remember is this is supposed to be a team game, so that's should be the ideal balance. But the community wants it a whole different way, and I've kind of noticed this trend. The slower and more kind of methodical, more bunker warfare-esque it is, the more likely the community will hate it. The more fast-paced,
because it's boring. No one likes that.
Point, yeah, like even
Wait, why can't? Is this an SR problem? Is that why Beachy can't come in, or is like
someone's taking a potty break? Maybe like just can't get back quick.
I'm okay with 5 minutes because we give 15 and ask Nocturnal.
That's what I'm doing because it's not 15. Yeah. It's 5 in between maps.
Oh, I always was kind of like 5 in between mats, but if you didn't use the 15 at the beginning, I'd be okay to parcel that out. If both teams are alright with it.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah.
Okay. Nocturnal has agreed.
Alright, so
okay, excellent.
So my favorite part of commentating now, random self-promotion. If you haven't already, ladies and gentlemen, check out, go to upperdeckerePacks.com. I forget the exact link, but they have Overwatch League trading cards. I got them right here in my hand. Signatures, jersey fragments, moments, MVPs, more. Buy that shit so we can get more cards, please, for us collectors. Help us out.
Wait, so are you
Sponsor us, Blizzard.
like, are they sponsoring you? Is that
No,
or is
no.
that?
I just
Yo,
want
we should ask them to like sponsor us. And
I just want more. I just want people to buy cards so we get more packs, okay? Because I just released the expansion teams like 3 days ago. We haven't had them all season.
So what is this? What is the name of the website? I want to go look at it.
Search up Overwatch League trading cards. It should take you to the website. Like,
I'll just Google Overwatch League trading cards.
Wendy's,
I'm just gonna let
sponsor us.
Like this
so
whole
it
season
just came up with old trade. Okay, let me try Overwatch. I was like, do you mean old?
League.
Overwatch trading card. Overwatch League. So I see from player.1.
It's upperdeckerepack.com. That's the website.
Okay, cause like.
Yeah.
Are they like official or are these like fan made? Because it looks like there are. Okay.
These are officially sponsored digital trading cards that you can get sent to you physically once you get enough of them. Like for example, I have a signed Spree card right here, a jersey fragment, a cool mat, you know, an All Stars Muma, all kinds of cool shit.
All I'd need is Jay Jonak and Pine, then I'd be fine.
What kind of Jonak and what kind of Pine? You can get their jersey fragments, you can get signature cards, you can get their All-Star cards, MVP Jonak. Name your price, they probably got a card for it, and it only costs you $4 a pack.
Ooh.
And I'm only sponsoring this because it's been out all of Season 2 of OWL, and they've done a horrible job of getting the news out there. So, buy some packs so we can get more packs. They just released all the expansion team cards.
Overwatch League just concluded today too, didn't it?
Yeah, that's why I'm pushing this, you know, for the off-season. You want to collect your favorite players' cards? They got them for all the expansion teams. You know, you want that IDK fragment? You can get it. You want your brand new Corey Star rookie card? They got it. You want a duo fragment that has Gushui and Rhea? You can get that too, I believe. Or maybe it's a SIG card. I can't remember. But they got a lot. They got something for everybody. If you like the OWL. Okay, self-promotion over. I just like to plug that when I can. We need more cards.
Sorry, I have like 20 people talking to me on Discord. I'm trying to get. I'm like actually gonna get to the thing. Okay, so all right, yeah. So I guess these are like official. Do people design these or?
They're done by.
You don't do like art for it. And just like.
I don't.
Okay. It's like baseball cards, but. Oh, see. All right.
Yeah.
What do you do with them? Do you just? Is it just like a cool thing to own, or like?
It's just like normal trading cards. You can trade them digitally, trade them physically. People sell them like.
Are like games you play with it?
No, they're just kind of like baseball cards.
I think they're kind of they're kind of like baseball cards.
Well, I like. Okay, so I didn't know if you play like games with baseball cards. Like if there was like fantasy
you can actually,
baseball. Is that like
back
a thing?
in 07,
I have no idea. That's cool, honestly.
Trading card history from my childhood, from like 08 to like 2010, they had something called Topps Attack, and it was like you bought baseball cards, your players had stats, and you would play baseball with them. And well, now we can go into Busan with that.
But like, I swear, like baseball cards is kind of like Pokemon cards. Everyone has them, but no one knows how to play the game.
That's pretty much OWL. We just trade the frags amongst each other in a Discord group at this point, and the well's running dry. So that's why I'm like, hey, buy some cards so we can get more packs and more players and stuff in these cards, please.
Oh, here we go, Busan. I'm not wild about this map. I never have been. A lot of people like it. I'm just not wild about it. I don't like
really
the walls
Mecha
that come
base.
up. I guess one of the things about it is, like, I want to boot people off of it, and there are boop areas, but, like, no one ever goes over to them.
Yeah, I feel that. Like, that's why Busan's 2 out of 3 for me, and this is the one map I really... Actually, this one's fine, and downtown's fine. I really don't like the drum.
What's the other one?
I don't like the drum.
Yeah, I don't like the drum either. It's weird. It's, like, basic to me.
This
one is okay.
I really only like Mecha Base because of the lore. Like, I'm someone that loves the Overwatch lore.
I wish there were more of it instead of, like, you know, a little bit every 20 months.
Come on, Overwatch 2!
Here we go. Oh, looks like we've got Nocturnal doing their Brawl comp again, but it looks like we've got Voltage trying a speedy boy, kind of dive-ish, you know, Ball, Winston, Murky...
Also
Moira,
trying to
double mean,
swap up what the mistakes they made last time.
But you're going against May Reaper with a dive. You're gonna get hit pretty hard.
That May Reaper is tough. I like seeing the dive. Yeah, I think this may have been. Well, we'll see what happens. It's just a sort of awkward matchup there when you've got the May Reaper, but they're holding their own. The dive is just not diving together. Once they do that, be pretty great. Pretty good.
It looks like this Winston is going to be frozen. Oh, he escapes by dropping below.
He's out. Does somebody get stuck behind that
wall? However, Voltage lost both healers so far. That's going to be a major disadvantage for this fight. Deadeye coming in. He is going to be taken out, though.
Looks like Nocturnal's going to win this, but Voltage did a really good job there, especially with them being kind of disadvantaged with the dive. Let's see if they decide to... They're going to keep it for now. I think if they play more together... And that will be good. A lot of the thing I see them do is Nocturnal stays together in a group. Winston finding the brig. Great. But again, healers are down on Voltage. Their tanks are going in. Their healers are back. And they're just not able to play together as much.
Yeah, no. With the current dive you're running, you got 2 long-range hit scan that won't be able to dive in with your tanks. Your tanks are pretty much going in solo or maybe with the Mercy. So you only have like half and half at most. It's a really weird combo, but they do have Sigma now, so maybe that'll help.
Kero trying to go in back, maybe distraction. It looks like Voltage just isn't quite sure what they want to do right here. They're running back and forth between
trying a bunch of different things.
Yeah. It's like they're not really. It's just, seems like they're not playing as a team. We've got Sigma doing his own thing, Kero doing his own thing, and
it's definitely really strange because I've seen them do. It's really strange because I've seen them do a lot better throughout the season. Like, this is just not normal for what Voltage normally does.
Right. Normally they're, you know, especially they're one of the top teams, if not the top team. I don't 100% remember because I'm bad at math. But maybe they're just a little off tonight. And I don't think they have all of their people either. Death just smashing things with a Fire Strike, fighting both healers with 1 Fire Strike. That's always impressive when Ryan's do that.
A nice team kill for Nocturnal to keep this point going up to 90%.
And looks like Voltage has 2 ults coming in. We'll see if they can try to capitalize on it. They might not even be able to make it to point, especially with that May. I don't think so.
No, and it doesn't look like they will, and Boost and Mecha Base will go to Nocturnal.
Yeah, no. You gotta bounce back and regroup. You kind of spent a lot of time shuffling your pieces. You gotta get a plan and get everybody on board ASAP. If you gotta,
it's time for Voltage to, you know, clear comms and get that shot caller and call those targets and everybody dive. That's one of the big things about dive is your strength is beating the crap out of one guy. If you're calling and playing together, you know, that one guy will do really well. Looks like we're switching up from Nocturnal and Nicholas getting onto the Hanzo. Oh, and we've got a Sombra now. Oh, that's going to be interesting.
I love the Sombra.
I hate Sombra. I mean, I love that they're playing it. I just don't like her as a character.
Well, I mean, you're going to be
annoying.
A slight nerf.
This is a great Widow map, so... I'm not happy about that buff. She's already annoying enough. I don't want another one.
Well, you're gonna get annoyed even more. I play Sombra, so...
Yes, but hey, speaking of Death getting the first pick here, make it the first 2. Both the tank... almost 3. Almost got the
Death pushing forward.
They are in the spawn. Hadn't even captured point yet. Oh, we got a sneaky, little
Hero
sneaky going
trying
back
to
here
do
with
something
BG,
with
just
this
trying
Widow
to
right
get a
now.
little back tap, and here comes.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I don't think a Widow's gonna win in a... Well, I meant, I don't think Baptiste is gonna win in a fight with a Widowmaker.
You know, we try. And I hope that, I think Carol may be able to get some picks here simply because we only have the one shield. But with May and Reaper, I mean, well, it's not Reaper anymore, it's Hanzo, so I don't know, yeah.
But the shield burst on the front, you have that Sombra that can hack out any one of your members at any given time, that's scary.
And Sombra just keeping that Ryan hack, not able to find, you know, he's got a Earth Shatter there, wasn't able to do much with that. Oh, bullying Caro up at the top. Let's see if... Oh.
Nocturnal just being an absolute force right now.
Yeah, Nocturnal just, wow, looking amazing here. Pushing up, going to spawn. Let's see if they get... Hope they don't get too overconfident. We have seen that happen before.
Both sides does have an Earth Shatter. Which could be
maybe
major.
Trying to go left, which would be good. Oh, no, well... Looks like Voltage just isn't sure where they want to go as a team. Their tanks are going back, but their Zarya's running forward, and they just end up dithering.
It's definitely not a good thing considering the Sombra does have an EMP and ready to come out.
I'm not sure they're going to even be able to make it to the point. You know,
Sombra though is
not being
getting
able to find many
locked
here.
out by this Tracer.
Yeah.
Coalescence will take out Nicholas Stinger, but that Dragon is going to take out Beachy. With Death Unbound taking out both tanks, and it looks like this point is just going to continue to tick away for Nocturnal.
We're in one fight territory right here, like literally that might have been the last fight actually, we're at 90%.
I think it is.
An EMP is definitely going to solidify this victory for Nocturnal, like it's going to be impossible for Voltage to push if they're all hacked.
I don't know if they're, let's see if they can get in there. Okay, we're going to have at least one more fight.
Hero though will take out 2 picks, and it looks like Hero might be coming the saving grace slightly.
But maybe. No.
No, those 2 picks definitely made it promising,
the
but...
advantage that Nocturnal has. It's just stalling at this point.
And a solo EMP on a waving Widowmaker is gonna end that fight.
Oh.
Yeah, no, this has been a rough start here for Voltage, but I mean, there's some improvements there. You just gotta, it looks like you might
if they can shake off the demoralization, like you were saying, they can definitely come back here. We've done reverse sweeps before, but they may
we actually had one a couple weeks ago.
It's just, yeah, that's true. Psychologically, they've got to get into that space where they're like, all right, it's time to get down to business, you know, not bicker, decide, I don't know if they're bickering or not, but, you know, get a, call things and follow through and you know, kick some butt, get some momentum going.
You got to get that one-shot caller, you got to gather around them, listen to them, and get back into it. Like, I know in another league I'm in, Control would have been our 3rd map, and that's usually the map we start our reverse sweeps on. Like, literally, Li Jiang, we had it back-to-back map pools. We took both of those teams to a 3-2. You know, 3rd map, this is when you fix your stuff, you get back into the game a bit, and you start trying to gather around that one person. Get into that group you need to be in to make these pushes, to get this game going in that direction of you getting maps and potentially a reverse sweep. At least from personal experience, it looks like there might have been comms were cluttered, at least from the movement. I don't know if that's true, but it looks like maybe too many chefs in the kitchen sort of thing. You had too many people trying to call things.
Go that way, go this way. Either that or no one's talking. That sometimes happens too. We're just no one's taking control there in your team. What do we do? Well, and you just end up kind of getting that dithering aspect. And it looks like Voltage has also been having some trouble this evening. People having to come and leave and trying to scrape together enough people. It's kind of a weird time for a game, so that's probably part of it too. They may not have their regular people.
Yeah, don't have that synergy completely built up with all your pieces. You know, you have some pieces you don't usually use in these comps you're trying to run, so it might be throwing them off a bit.
Yeah, and they've lost somebody. Let's see.
It's also like you said, it might also just be an off night for them.
I bet.
So.
Yeah, some nights are like that. It's just there's some nights where your team just, you can't get it together, and you're like, well, oh well, it happens, man. Can't be perfect every day.
But I mean, even if they take a loss here, they are one of the higher teams in the standings. They can take a hit, you know, and they can get ready for their next game.
Oh yeah, and they'll
up those standings.
I'm not even sure if taking a hit today will knock them down, really. And Nocturnal going up again, because this is kind of a new team, but having to still deal with the previous Nocturnal roster's win-loss ratio. So, you know, getting this new team together and letting them climb up some, you know, it's sometimes this is just, you know, corrections when it happens.
Because it does.
Like, I feel like I'm not.
Oh, you go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you go ahead. I cut you off. Yeah, you go ahead.
I don't think you did. I think I cut you. Oh, well, okay, what I was going to say is that I feel like I'm not complimenting people enough. I feel like I'm being negative. Am I being too negative? Because, like, the problem is I'm used to being sort of the shot caller for the team, so like, when things aren't working, I'm like, here's how you fix it. But I'm not always so great at being, like, especially when I'm watching two teams play, instead of, like, being in there and being like, wow, look at this person making an impact. I try, guys.
Like, at least from what I'm noticing, we are doing the wrestling trifecta. You're being the more, you know, heelish kind, first being the more face, and I'm just kind of sitting here being...
I'm a good villain.
Yeah, like, I'm just kind of being the middle. It's like, I'm seeing positives and negatives sort of thing. That's how we're kind of working this. That's fine. Like, you gotta have a negative, you gotta have a bad guy, you gotta have a heel. That's how it works. That's just how it works in commentary. I mean,
and last time I commentated a match, it was like, there was no useful information. It was just me, like, making, like, really poor, bad jokes and, like, laughing at shit. So this time I was trying to be a little bit more useful.
You're doing good, yeah.
You know, I'm trying, right? We're working on it.
It looks like Voltage actually wants to forfeit the last two maps.
Oh, yeah, well, that's unfortunate. Oh, it looks like... Uh-oh.
We'll have to bring that up on stream.
Yeah, well, sometimes, you know, sometimes things happening, so y'all...
Well, that is unfortunate, so looks like Nocturnal is going to walk away with the win for this match.
Well, congratulations to Nocturnal.
I mean, it's definitely a good step for them, considering that they're coming back from the ashes, basically.
And I know exactly who on Nocturnal needs to be the MVP. Mr. Donger with those massive tires, just like Chubby was saying earlier, like the rest of the team didn't even have to use ults. I could just save them because of Mr. Donger's tires. So I would say him. And then who would you think for Voltage?
That's kind of hard because they all kind of...
It was hard, yeah, because they weren't really, you know, like, playing together and as well as they normally do, so it's hard to tell, like, who was having, like, the best impact. Maybe Airsick. I mean, well, he got...
If I had to pick one, I'm gonna say Kuro, because mostly, like, yeah, the whole team was having a rough night, but at least in...
Yeah, Kiro with his McCree getting some of that space in places, and then, you know, we always stand a cheerful Widow waving at the end.
And I would definitely say Kiro was one of the primary reasons they were able to get that capture on King's Row with the high noon, forcing them to rotate around, which allowed them to get on the point, set up that defense, and force Nocturnal to have to try to attack into them, letting them get that point.
Yeah. Well, very cool.
So I'm guessing our MVPs are going to be Nicholas Stinger and Kiro?
Yes, I think that's correct for this evening. I think that's who I would think.
Yep.
Deserves it here.
Well then, there you go. Congratulations to both Nicholas Stinger and Kiro for getting your MVPs, and once again, congratulations to Nocturnal for coming away with this victory. Anyways, this has been for Alligator, and thank you for joining the OLC, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.